Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Riccardo, and today is the 9th of August 2024. Since I'm going to do a Ruby event next month, Euruco, the biggest European convention, I thought, how about I play around with an available Ruby on Rails with Cloud SQL on Postgres on Cloud Run. So basically, how to highlight running Ruby on Rails on Google Cloud Platform. And this is actually an existing skills booster, which I might take and someday make a bit more complex and add some Gemini AI stuff on top of it. But first I want to see how it works. And I thought, like, why don't I do it for the first time myself in front of you? So maybe you can learn something about A, my toolchain, and B, well, how I'm solving this. I see other people have done it without any audio, so why don't take it up a notch and put my Italian sexy ass accent on top of it. Plus, I've been to Mexico for 2 weeks, so my English is completely broken. I hope somebody can empathize somewhere in the world. So, if you're not familiar with Cloud Skill Boosts, X Quick Lab, it's a way to get like a lab in a box. You click Start Lab, and since you can go back and forth in the video, I will just start doing this. It will use lunch with 5 credits. You can buy credits, get them for free somewhere. You can have a token given to you. And now I get a user and a password which are disposable. So this user and password will stop functioning in 1 hour 20. So better be quick. The project ID is something that is used by Google Cloud to create imagine it's like a cloud container, it's like a cloud box, which contains elements, which could be, Docker containers, Kubernetes cluster, networking, like pieces, it's like a big virtual rectangle inside of which there is cloud stuff. And why you need this rectangle? For security reason, because you want to separate your personal project X from your work project Y, and even your personal project X from your other personal project. Why not? So like to aggregate stuff together, serving the same purposes and be used by the same people. But enough with this. So now the interesting thing is about this is that now I have my Google account here and I don't want to clutter it. So if I just click here, it will give me a new user, which will only last 1 hour. But here it will clutter my stuff. So I will not do this. I will just open a Ctrl-Shift-N, an incognito window. This is something, and I will just copy this in an incognito window. So it will not just add to my stuff. As you can see, this is not my first rodeo. And so I encourage you to do the same. The password is here, so you copy the password. I can actually show you everything. I'm in Switzerland, so even though I don't speak German, he thinks I do. That's the problem of living in a multi-ethnical country. Country Switzerland, I agree with TOS. Email update, why not? I mean, this will be destroyed somewhere soon. And meanwhile, so most people like to do this stuff online, but personally, whenever I learn something, and since in 1 hour 20, this will be completely destroyed, except for my memory of it, I prefer to have a local repo where I have one folder, which I call blah blah poo, which is like disposable stuff. The word is invented by my younger son. He's now 4, but this term he invented when he was 2. And I will use CodeLab, and I will call it, I don't know, Quick Lab Rails on Cloud Run. So this should create a folder, hopefully. This is a tool I created, but if you like it, I'm going to open source it. Personal, at the moment it's personal. Okay, so I will just mkt, I forgot how it works. 0809 dash Quick Lab Rails on GCP, and then CodeLab. So this should create an nvarc and a 00 init, which I really love, because it does all the boring initial stuff like create a configuration and use a certain account, use a certain project ID, and I decouple this action from the configuration, which is here. So I will just copy the username, which is pre-recorded as myself, region, which is pre-recorded as Zurich, password, oh yes, there is no password, sorry, I will just put it here. For the future, I will call it, I will call it QuickLab GSP943, Palladius QuickLab Bingo, because this is unique, is rails on GCP, and the project ID is this. Again, this is disposable and this will die soon. Sometimes when you run a QuickLab, it might take some time for it to create all the stuff that it needs. So, overview, this is about the structure. So it looks like I'm going to create a public website built with Cloud Build and use Cloud SQL as a database backend, Cloud Storage for my artifact, for my images and videos or whatever it is, Secret Manager for the password, think of the Rails master key, for example, and ContainerRegistry. Today we use ArtifactRepository, so this is clearly a bit of an old, we need to refurbish this a little bit. So read about this, setup and requirements before you click the start button, blah, blah, blah. That's not me, I always click first. This is my user, my password, and here I can go on this. Now, let me show you. Now I am on this dashboard. This is the Google Cloud dashboard, and as you can see, I have my project number, my project ID. These are two unique things which will disappear in 1 hour. This is the project name, QuickLab dash whatever it's here, and here we have the stuff, the billing, all of the Google Cloud resources we can do. Okay, let's move to activate Cloud Shell. So Cloud Shell is something that everybody except me loves in Google. I think it's pretty sweet for beginners. I mean, if you're a pro user, you probably want to use your personal shell, because at least in my case, I have a lot of local scripts in my personal stuff, but 95% of people probably will enjoy this. This is a shell, which I'm surprised by how many tools it has already installed. And also you have a 5 gigs quota for free that get auto-destroyed every 6 months. Of course, we don't want to give 5 gigas to everybody that uses it once in their lifetime. But if you use it once a month, for example, once a quarter, you will have it forever. And you have Python is already configured to work just fine. Same with Ruby. I can tell you, Ruby, which is not like the first language that you might think of, it's also configured to work pretty. Let's see which version do we have of Ruby. 3.5. Not bad. It's not 1.8, it's not even 2. Ruby 3.5 is good enough. We don't have RBM, right? Which Ruby. We also have Scaffold. We have a lot of script things that in Google we like to use for we have gcloud already configured. In yellow, you have the project ID already configured. So if you know Google Cloud, this is really sweet. It's already pre-configured. You can run a lot of stuff. Let me do a command plus, so I will not pay for your eye doctor appointment. Activate Cloud Shell, gcloud auth list. So now this automatically authenticates me as myself, as students at QuickLab, etc. So I'm already authenticated. I can do, I don't know, gcloud storage list. Is there a list? Tab, ls, I don't know, bucket, list, just saying. Bingo! I have 0 objects, but this needs my an authenticated call. So I've done my first gcloud authenticated call. So you can see you can already start doing stuff just with this simple thing. Bingo! If I do gcloud config, this doesn't require authentication, but it tells me my project, which I know. Perfect. So let's prepare the environment. We git clone the Ruby docs samples. Let's do it from here. I will also do it from my touch makefile. What I like to do is I will create a ruby-copy git clone -copy, and also I add this to git ignore. So if I do a make, it will run. If I do a second make, it will say it already exists because the make target has the same name and stuff, and it's in the git ignore file, so I will not check it in by mistake. Git add dot. What do I have here? Git add dot. New file Ruby doc samples. Oh, sorry, I git cloned this by mistake. Git remove this. Bingo. So now I can do this. Git commit amend message first commit. I see that DHH has the same line as GCAM. If you see DHH videos, he has the same comment. Okay, so I do a git push and pull. Okay, git pull and git push. Okay, then what else do I need to do? CD blah 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 and bundle install. I do it both in my what is it? Let me find. Oh, here it is. So I need to find a way to have both of this. So we'll have this below on the left and this above on the right, so we can see both. Bingo. And back to us. Oopsie. CD blah blah blah, and then boom, bundle install. Okay, now I will do the same in my thingy here. So CD, this will not work. CD Ruby copy run Rails, bundle install. Well, let me copy it first. pvd cd dot. So cp-r Ruby, what was it called? I do everything twice, as you have noticed. Ruby docs sample run Rails. And then we'll call it, I don't know, Rails. I will just call it Rails. So now I can do a git add Rails. And then skeleton, I will just commit this so you can see the difference. And then, what was it? Bundle install, which probably will change my gem file.lock reasonably enough. Oh, I get an error. Your bundle is from Ruby gems, install, blah, blah, blah. Let's see what the problem is. Your bundle is locked to Rails, blah, blah, from Ruby gem or installed locally, but that version can only be found at that means the author of Rails 7081. So how do I do this? Let me try to do a remove gemfile.lock and do another bundle install. That hopefully should fix it. No, it won't. 720, okay, 0310. Which Ruby? Oh, okay. I have the wrong Ruby. So cat, this is my local environment to be fixed. I just had a problem on my Mac, but I think that grep rbenv in $exclamative eval this. I will add it to my, this won't work. Remember this. Okay, let's try another bundle install. So I have an old Ruby in my computer. Let's hope the RBM latest Ruby 3.3 something will fix it. I mean, if Psych works, I'm pretty sure everything else will work. Meanwhile, while we wait for this to work, it might take some time. Oh, it's also here is taking some time. So we're in a good place. We're installing all the gem. Postgres might have some problems if I don't have Postgres running here, but I think I do. Okay. Oops. Okay, posting list. Okay. Echo dollar question. Echo. Oh, too late. It seems like everything works fine. Bingo. Okay. So bundle worked. Let's move to the next. Also bundle work here. So we are very happy people. It works both locally and in externally. Maybe for the sake of this video, I might stop doing stuff local and think unless I see something good reason to do it in order not to confuse you. Okay, define reusable environment variable for your instance name, region, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is what I would put actually in my env-rc. This is where it really imports specific stuff. Okay, so region is the Europe West 6. I think 4 will work as well. So I will just use cloud region. Okay. This is really a lame name, but why not? Let's keep everything as it is so we don't have to change too much stuff. Okay, now I have the first SQL instance. Okay, I will show you how to do it in CodeLab. CodeLab, create SQL instance. There is a typo, but I don't care. Oh yes, come on, yes, I care. Okay, let me take down Rails 00 pvd. Oops. CodeLab create. So it was the wrong folder. Bingo. CodeLab creates 01, 02 activities and it sources the env-rc. So I can just do something like tag and it should work. I just need to call 00 init. gcloud config source env-rc gcloud config, give me a second. Direnv allow sb3. I have the local, I'm just back from holidays, I'm sorry, my local configuration. I may use this computer, direnv allow. Okay, this should work. Bingo! Yes. All the arrows are good stuff. I just need to do a gcloud auth login, which hopefully will be captured by this. I noticed that if you put the Chrome on top, no, it won't work. So let me try it here. I want to log in into this because it already have the authentication token, so it's easy peasy. Otherwise, I will authenticate as my Google account, which is not what I want. Agree. Bingo, authenticated. Bingo. So okay, now I can use intermittently this or the other and they both work. Yay! So let's try to create stuff from the local environment. Instance name. Let me try and export. Direnv allow echo dollar instance name. And we have it. Okay. Invalid organization policy check failure. The location set in Europe West 6 of this violates the constraint resource location. Okay, wow. That means that I was too smart, too sneaky. Smart is not the right word. To say I want to do it in Zurich. It says West 4. Let's do West 4. Let's try again. Again, I need to do direnv allow again. So region is 4. Let's try again. Oh wow, I guess that's because Frankfurt is a bigger region than Zurich, so yeah, bingo, and it's creating it, okay? And if I do gcloud SQL instance list here, just to show you that this is the same universe, you can see that we have a Postgres instance being created. Status pending create. So that means that we are creating it, okay? How cool is that? Okay, back to us. So we are creating this. This will take 5 minutes, so let's move on. Create the database. Okay, this will take 5 minutes, so maybe it's time for me to pause the recording because there's nothing we can do while SQL instance is created. Let me see. SQL password create. Let's see what we can do. Well, we can start creating the password. Why not? So meanwhile, I will do. That's why you see let's do a create. Let's create a second one. How do I remove this? Ok, pvd C2 2024-08, bingo. Ok, CodeLab create password. And now we have the create password. Let's start preparing the command, right? So create the database. Well, actually, we first create the database, which we will run later. So I will just comment it out. And then we will do this once. You could also say if doesn't exist. You know what? We could do this actually in the make file, because make file has the concept make db password, because then if you do it twice, the second time it will not work, because make file say, well, it exists already. So db password. Let me try make db password, because it's very important that we do things only once, right? Otherwise you will override the password all the time. So make db password, cut make file, make db. Why is not working? So this is a tab, this is a tab. Why are you not working? Maybe on Mac, yes. And as you can see, is up to date. So that's exactly what we want. We want it to be created only once. As you can see, this is like a random stuff. We love it. Make db password will only happen once. So that's super cool. And then we want to create a user named QuickLab user with that password. So that can be done once. And this requires this. Note that I do also a set meno ewo pi fail. Usually this ensures that it stops at the first time that you get an error, so you don't have the possibility that first you do A and it fails, then you do B, and then you have the inconsequential stuff. You have action 2 before action 1. With this, if action 1 fails, everything fails. So at least you have the guarantee that they will work. This will always work, I guess. Let's say or echo no probs already exists most likely. So this way, even if the make doesn't pass, so now we can actually call the 02 command. Database name unbound variable. That's great to run in parallel with the system. So database name. Do we have it here in the nvar-c? Yes, we do have it. So we forgot the allow. This is setting up all of my stuff. Echo database name. Bingo. Bingo, 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 bingo. Okay, let's try again. 02. And this could fail most likely, unless, oh, this has worked perfectly. So the script number 2 has also worked amazingly. Amazing. So now we can do check my progress. Oh, it doesn't look like you did it. Riccardo, cheater. So, the 01 worked. Let's look on it. Why? Shall we? So, first let's do instance list, runnable. So that means that if we do Cloud SQL here, we should be able to see what we have created. And I encourage you to always play with Gemini is awesome. You should play with it. You see the instances here. Let's see if there is a database and a user. So we can just look into databases, and you see there is a my database. So that's been created. And users, there is QuickLab user and Postgres. What was the user named here? I can't rename because they both are so obvious. Database, what's the username? So instance name, database, your random users create QuickLab user. So yeah, it's there. So it should all be done. Maybe we've been too fast. Bingo! Okay, fun fact, I was talking to a QuickLab owner. Do you know that these tests are actually done in Ruby? That's super cool. So, this means that there are some points in the QuickLab that are checking that you're not cheating. You say like, have you done the exercise? If not, let me check. So his secret in running some code like, I don't know, gcloud, Cloud SQL, pipe grep user, so something that checks that the user exists as you are supposed to. So happy days. We have created a database. We have created a physical database entity. Within it, we have a database and a user. So we're happy. Now, second part. Let's create the cloud storage buckets. This is like the SD card virtual in the cloud where we can store stuff. So I will do CodeLab. Oops. No, I will remove the colors. Okay. CodeLab. Create bucket. And now I can do this. It would be actually cooler to put this. Oh, you see, this requires a dev shell project ID, which is only the shell. So we are smart. So we don't do it here because we say dev shell what, and we just to create Ruby. So actually, let me prove that I'm not wrong. This should fail because this is an unbound variable. Thanks to the -e, I think it will not work if a variable is unbound. So either we fix it by saying, hey, by putting it here in the env-rc and setting export equal, let me fix it later. We could do this, and now drenv wants, let's recall drenv, and now this should work. You see? Bingo. So I like to do this because then my env-rc grows with all the variables that I need, and I have a single pane of glass to know all the variables that I might have to put somewhere else. For example, in cloud build, in secrets. If it's a secret, I want it as a secret. If it's not a secret, like this stuff is not secretive, so we'll just put it in here. If it's a password, maybe I will put somewhere else. Notice that the user password, it is not stored here, is stored in a local file. So it's not too bad, right? I could actually do user password in there, but that is secretive, so we want to put it somewhere else. And then we also want to do the chutil this. How can I do it? I can just do, this means that every user can use this. Notice that if I want to rewrite a script, either I do this, which is kind of cheating, or I can use the most amazing script ever written by a human being, which is a bash script called what's it called? Give me a second, because this is really cool, and this is actually open source. Already. Oops. Grep. Bash. Exists. As you can see, I have a lot of configuration. I have on DRAM. I'm just trying to find the right tooling, and I have probably too much. What was it? Grep already exists. Already exist. Already exist. HD JIT JIC bin repos.rec. I created a script which says continue even if I cannot find it. Well, I know I'm looking really stupid now, but you know what? Let me kill this. Okay. So I created something which is like, oh, proceed. Proceed if error message. So you can say proceed if error message already. This is clearly wrong. So let me show you first how it doesn't work. So it's trying to create a bucket, and it says a cloud storage bucket name already exists. So now I put already exists. And then this script is a bash script I created, which accepts the first argument with the regex, and if the thing matches this argument and exits with an error, it will exit with a non-error, it exits 0. Otherwise, it will exit with the same error as above. So basically checks for the output of this, and if it matches the output, standard error, standard output, then it will exit with 0. Otherwise, it will exit with the same exit as the parent script. So this way we can say, if you find an already exists, continue, right? I think this is absolutely brilliant. And if you're curious about this, you can find it into my Sakura. Well, you can find it, it's mentioned here. Yep. And the code is here. So if you Google it, you will find an article I wrote in which I talk about this. It's under Sakura bin proceed if error message. Matches, sorry, again, English broken. Okay, so we are back to business. Database is created, bucket is created. Check my progress. Hey, che diavolo sto dicendo, Willis? I created the bucket and I gave it the name is provided. Oh, maybe it is, let me say green, okay. Green, of course, is an echo green. No changes made to this. This should work. Oh, bingo, it was just slow. Perfect. Okay, so we did it. Again, download my Sakura and install it in your path to have all of this Palooza stuff. Okay, store secret values in Secret Manager. This is really important. We want to save the passwords or any variable which is kind of secretive in Secret Manager. Actually, I love using Secret Manager. You can actually use it from command line and get a password. It's really, really cool. So we do editor nano, edit, not nano. Oh yes, of course we do it in my computer here. So no colors, editor, let's say code. And of course we are in the wrong directory, so we go Rails. And this should do a credential edit. And now we want to put the password here. This is not necessarily my style, but we want to put the database password, which we created here. We want to put it here. I mean, if you're a Ruby developer, you like to put passwords in here. So I'm not debating this. So here basically we are putting the password encoded into the Rails code, which we might want to publish on GitHub. So I know you understand the problem here. Here, if somebody gets your the key with which you encrypted this, or if by mistake this key goes somewhere, people can decrypt this file and then they get access to everything. So this is secure, but there is more secure stuff, if you know what I mean. I'm removing the stuff that I created by mistake before. So as you, and probably I need to do a git add of the config here. Git add of the config credential. Notice that the key has been created somewhere in config, in master key. So config master key, this is the really important password. This is the thing that you don't want to tell your friends, okay? And I could actually put it, I don't know, I could put it here, but if I put it in my nvarc, I don't know, something like export Rails master key, I could do is Rick is of course added by my path, so I will remove Rick. So this will be my Rails master key, and if you export it in your Rails environment without having checking the file, it will also work, because that's the beauty of Rails. You can even have the master key as a file, which is insecure, or pass it as an environment variable, which is also insecure but more secure. The best of all world is to use Cloud Run with Secret Manager, because Cloud Run will inject the environment variable without putting into the cloud container. So you can actually change it in the repository, and when you rerun the thing, it will update the password, which is actually pretty cool if you want to deprecate an old password because it's been, for example, exposed. So cut this. This is not my case. Okay, copy your output file from the previous command, refer to the credential file, open, replace with the password. Your credential file should look like this. Let me try again VS Code thingy. Poor Riccardo, why it doesn't work? It doesn't work. Why? Cat config credential. Let me see if it's been created. Damn. Okay. So let's do again editor. Hey, why it doesn't work? This is weird. Why don't we do it on the other computer? Let me do it with the nano. That's such a pity. Okay, here it works. Oh, Nano, not VI. Okay. Okay, let me pass the password. Where is the password? No, this is the DB password, which is not. Okay. So I guess we will need to run everything from here. Okay, Control X, yes. And now how do I ask? Oh mio Dio. Okay, let me try again. Let me try with Vim. I'm not familiar with Nano, sorry. Plus, okay, it didn't work. So what was it? Not this, it was this. Okay, then I do D word, J. So much easier. Let me try again to see if it saved it. Okay. No AWS here. Bingo, it saved it. Let me try another time. Okay. Notice that this Rails has now diverged from the other Rails because it has a different master key. So, yeah. It's good to have two systems, so one will work. Okay, so now we have it, DB password, replace the password with DB password, of course. Your credentials should look like this, of course. Edit a Nano credential to your credential file again. This should, secrets will be accepted by the Rails credential. Let's try, let's see if it works. PVD, so Rails developer, are you ready? So Rails console. Bingo. As you can see, DB password works, and I can say say also, I don't know, message Rick message hola everyone. Let me try again. So now you have both Rick message and DB password. So I hope you can see that now Rails can phagocytate these two informations. Okay, now gcloud secrets create Rails secret config master key. That's super cool because now now gcloud says I want to do something with secret manager. Say, but you forgot to enable the APIs. So sure, enable the APIs. Now we could do the same code lab, upload the secret key, but remember that we have the wrong key here. So now I will do something cheeky. I will call it wrong. Right, because this is the one which doesn't really work. But I want to show you that we are working with the same words. So now I'm going to upload the fake one here. What? Error parsing secret. The secret resource is not properly cut config. Okay, he's right. Rails / dash project $project ID. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, because we never ran the initialization in this bash. It was in the other way which I killed. Okay, he's right. He's right. So let's see what happens while we do that. So now you see that FF13. This is the password we got from the real one. So this should be the same we got here. And here, a real one. I want to show you also the UI because it's so much better. So you can type secret manager and then command tab so you don't lose the Postgres. That's what I do. I do command tab, got it. And then you get Rails secret. Okay, if we're lucky, we should also get the wrong one here. Someday in the future. Created version 1. So if we're lucky, yes, you get the wrong and the right. So the wrong has, you can actually see it by doing view secret value. You see 6368, which is the same that we have here. 6368. So I will put it here wrong. And I will put also the right. Let's see what is the right one. We've seen it from command line, but it's so much more beautiful to see it here. View secret value, FF83. FF blah blah 83. Bingo. So at least I have all the data locally. It's commented because I don't want the variable to be in my place. Even if it's my local environment, I want to be mindful of just to say, if I wasn't doing this video, I wouldn't even put them there. Okay, so project number is, this is a mathematical, it's a simple way to extrapolate the project number which you see before. So echo project number. The project number is the brother of the project ID. They mean the same thing, but one is a string and one is a numeric string. So it's still a string, but it's made of digits. Okay, now so now we are saying, hey, I want Cloud Run, which is the thingy running the application, to be able to look up those secrets. And by default, you cannot do it. So you have a box called project ID. You have rectangles, which are the things, the entities inside it, resources. And then you have to say, I want resource A to be able to access resource B, and you do it through IAM. So let me put it here so you can see it. CodeLab. Set permissions. And here we will do. First, we just want to be able to calculate the project number. So far, so good, because that is needed. You will see why. And the reason why it's needed is because the project number is part of the virtual email of the compute and in this case also the Cloud Build service account. So service accounts are emails which represent a virtual user. So there is the user Riccardo, Jeff, and Alice, physical people, and there are service account. For example, this Quick Lab project Cloud Build, this Quick Lab project something else, this Quick Lab project something else again. So in this project, the service account works this way. They have on the right hand side of the at is what it does, and on the left hand side it is the project it refers to. So there are like billions of project IDs, then there are billions of this, and we decided in Google to use numbers instead of strings. Maybe for efficiency, probably for efficiency. And you can say project number dash compute and go tokenize this if this is not a number, right? So I guess it's for many reasons. So let's try it out. Sorry, 05, bingo. Aha. Dev shell project ID is not available, but didn't we put it in here? So direnv allow, bingo, bingo. and bingo. Okay, so you see, it's a bit of try and error, but now the permissions have been set up correctly. So now we have everything correctly done. And I can do it from my computer because this is in the cloud, right? It's not a local file. Now, let's take a look at the .env. Okay. So now we want to, and this is something that is super easy here, but not very easy there. But let's do it nonetheless. So we do a .env file in the cloud. So we do it here. We can also do editor.env. So, oh no, not this. Okay. DB name, no, not, no. Vim, or maybe it was edit. Bingo. So now we can use the Cloud Shell editor to edit it visually in the cloud, which I think is pretty sweet. So Cloud Shell has a number of tools. It has like a bash on steroid, which allows you to use all the Google Cloud stuff. It's already configured. Project ID, environment variables, all configured. It's amazing. Also very good with Python. Then you have the editor, which is the visual version of it. I'm just showing some possibilities. You prefer to do it from localhost, you do it here. You prefer to do it everything from the cloud. You could actually do it just everything on a browser. That's pretty cool. And you know, many possibilities. So let me show you how it does it. Meanwhile, we go collect the data. So we have the data by, let's take it from my local nrc. Okay, so these are the two variables we have. This will take some time. So what we can do in the meanwhile? Okay, we want to also ground cloud build. Okay, that's a pity. We could have done it before. We also do it here. And as you can see, this will not work because, well, let's see, maybe it will work. Because you may say it's already done there, but no, it will work. It's a power that you give to IAM. So yeah, it works. So now we have set up also this. And this, I don't know if it will work. Because everything except the env has been done. Yeah. So we just need to fix the env, right? Again, this takes time only the first time you do it. Okay? So I know the experience is not amazing, but again, it's the first time. The second time it will take much, much less. So we want, let's start to do it locally so we can just cut and paste it, okay? Let's do it here. Okay, so what is it? Database name is this. Dev shell project ID is quick club, blah, blah, blah. The region is Europe West 4. There is a an instance name is Postgres instance. Okay, and bucket name, I think the bucket name, grep bucket name, asterisk is here. So let's backport it in here. Export bucket name equals this. Okay, so is the project ID dash Ruby. Bingo. So this should work. Still doing it. So you know what? I will just open the terminal. Vim tatak tac production DB name. Okay. The Google project ID is already there. The Cloud SQL's connection name. The connection name is an interesting thing because it has it has project ID colon region colon name of the instance, which if you think about it, it's the most local DNS for your resource. It's like in which project, big rectangle, in which region, because projects are multi-regional. So you could have the instance Postgres in Europe or in US. You might have the same name in different regions, colon the instance name. So it seems very reasonable, right? Okay, so now we are done. .env is done. Deploying the app to Cloud Run. Ruby version. Oh, interesting. Echo.ruby version. So it's 3.2. Haha. Now less Docker file. So now we have 3.2 buster. So yeah, we don't need to change it. It's Ruby 3.2. So, but that's interesting because then if it was a different Ruby version, we will change it to 3.2, but it's already there. So we don't need to run this command because I've checked manually, okay? Using the supply cloud build, use the cloud build to build the image, run the database migration and populate the static asset. So let's just cut and paste this. I don't know if it will work. So I will just do it CodeLab, push and let's say build ROR app. So here let's see what it does. It gives the app name, which is my Ruby app, which we might want to backport into MVRC. As you can see, I also have this. Let's do it this way. Okay, this is useless. Okay. So now we are building it locally. I'm not entirely sure it has all the variable. Maybe I should have done an echo to make sure it has everything. Worst case scenario, we have everything here. The problem is that here we have a wrong master key. So I would have to tweak it. Let's tweak it manually. No, but then no, it won't work locally because even if I change the master key, the DB password inside the Rails master key encoded stuff will be a different encoded stuff. So I would have to copy that blurb here. So I would just not go there. I would just not do it from here. I just admit defeat. Then it didn't work locally. These I created by mistake with CodeLab. Okay. Bingo. Broken credentials, all rest is good. Understand why the credentials are locally broken. So now we're still building stuff. If you want, we can actually look on Cloud Build, because this I think is happening at the same time also on Cloud Build. Bingo. So now we are building. This thing that you're seeing here is a local, so it's a printf manifestation of the build which is happening here. This is a Cloud Build is a tool, is probably the stronger, the biggest underlooked gem of Google Cloud because it gives you 10 hours of build every day for free. So you can really use it as a worker with your own stuff. It is a multi-step tool. So it allows you to say step 0, do this, step 1, do this, step 3. So usually do, I don't know, build. Usually how I use it is first build a Docker repository locally. So Docker build. Then do some tagging. Usually that's the most complicated part because I need to do some magic stuff, cut version, tag it with the name of the version that Riccardo gave it, whatever. That's very kind of Riccardo customized. Then you do push it to ArtifactRepository, which is usually the second step that normal human beings do. And third, now that you have the built Docker file in the cloud, on ArtifactRepository, now you can just say, Cloud run this Docker file from there. And at this point, you usually need to provide some environment variable. If you're lucky, you just provide them from the command line because you know them. If you're not, you say, well, refer to the variable on secret manager. This for two reasons. One is secrecy. And number two, it could be also one level of indirection. It could be, I don't have the variable right now, but I have it there, or I will have it there. Or it could be an artifact as in an output of a previous build step. For example, the tag number, in my case, if you do some customized thing, it could have some customized information in there. So multiple possibilities. Okay, so now that we are doing the cloud build submit, so I say, hey, cloud build, take this YAML with the instruction, which I'm going to show you in a second. So usually it should be under Rails cloud build.yaml, bingo. So you see, Docker build with the master Rails key. Without the master Rails key, I'm screwed. Notice the $, because this needs to be with a single $. It would I think update it here, which is not what you want. It needs to pass it with $. So in the cloud, it will pass it this variable. So it's like, don't resolve it now, resolve it there. Project ID, that instead resolve it now because I have it now. Service, resolve it now. And usually there is an array. These are the steps, and these are. Let me do a control minus. Ooh. So these are the 5 steps: build, push, and apply migrations. And here there are the substitutions. So these are the key values that I already know. Here we have Rails cat album, and we are pushing to the region US Central 1, which is super interesting because I'm in Europe. Maybe I would have, if I read it in advance, I would have changed it to Europe West. So now we have the code is built and all the local artifacts, the database is in Europe, but the application is being run in US. This is probably a mistake. This is not what we want. We might want to change the region here to Europe West 4. Why? Because otherwise you will have the app in US, the database in Europe, and the latency of the application will be really bad. But hey, why don't we change it in the next commit? How about that? But let me put it here in the friction log. So region US Central 1 in cloud build, while region in everything else is Frankfurt, Europe West 4. I hope it's Frankfurt, otherwise I will look really stupid. But anyway, we can Google it. If you don't know what Europe West 4 is, you can just Google it. And regions and zones, Control F, Europe West 4. And bingo! Netherlands. I was wrong. It's not Frankfurt, but it's Eemshaven, which is in the Netherlands. Netherlands, of course. Okay, so that's just a promemoria for me to remember what's, there's a mistake in here. So this failed. Let me see. Let me do an echo. So as you can see, the app name is there, but the instance name, the region, and the secret names are not there. So that's why. So let me do a source.env cat. Oops. So let me do a cp.env env.sh vim, and now I will do 2.1,5 sed 2 punti space slash equal slash. Haha, not two shabs with vi, huh? .env.sh. Let me try again the echo, because if the echo works, instance name won't work. Why? Why? Oh, because it's not there. We need instance name and region. vi dollaro Europe West 4. Sorry for the Italian, but I need to speak Italian when I speak to myself. The instance name is, do you remember? Cat album? No, it's not this. I think it's the... Oh, but the instance name is in the cloud build, so we don't need it. Apply migration. Why did... Let's look at the error. Fail to start Cloud SQL proxy. Invalid instance connection, project region instance name, invalid QuickLab : colon. So yeah, it was a problem. He didn't have the region and the instance name. So what do? I would take the cloud build information, oops, here, restore. I don't know if the instance name, no, the instance name is not cat album. It's here in the .envarc. So instance name. rgrep instance punto. Grep instance name, it's in create password. Instance name. So it should be here. Oh, it is here, Postgres instance. Region equals this. Okay, let me try again. Dot this, and then an echo. Region, secret names, Postgres instance. Okay, now service name, it should work. Now I do everything without echo. Echo is just to make sure that the variables are all loaded. Let me here. Confusing since instance name and region are different between cloud build.yaml and QuickLab. These are all memo, so bug 2 includes bug 1, bug 1. Okay. Now that we are building again, now if we're lucky, the second build should work. Let's see what is the build. History, now that has triggered a second build, and if we're lucky, it will build. A little tip for you, every time I build on Ruby on Rails, I notice that Ruby on Rails is not as efficient or fast to build as other new stacks, unfortunately, but some genius created a Ruby gem that creates a Docker file, which is very smart. And I have to say, I thought I was smart, but they definitely outsmarted me. So they created like a multi-layer Docker file that just builds what you need. And that brought my build times for the same app from 12 minutes to 4. It started with 12 minutes, then after some labor lime, I was able to put it to 8 minutes. And now it's on par of 4 to 5 minutes. So now a complex Rails application for me builds in 4 to 5 minutes with this Ruby gem, which is automatically installed into the latest, I think, Rails 7.08 or something, or 7.1, when Docker was in. So the Docker file is not static, but it's generated automatically by a gem, because it needs to look, are you using Postgres or are you using SQLite, and it will just build what's needed by your application. So I'm killing time while we're doing this. And finally, we have the gcloud run deploy. This, where is it? CodeLab deploy app. Okay, now this final, if the build works, that build will produce as an output something on ArtifactRepository, or if we are unlucky, into the obsoleted artifact registry, which is super obsoleted, so you shouldn't be using it. And I think it's as easy. Well, let me show you later how it's easy to create an artifact repository, because it's really one click. Let me put it here. Bug 3 still uses gcr.io and not artifact. Wrong, right. And then so GCR.io is the first thing that we introduced, I think in 2015, so it's quite old. And it was cool because it was multi-regional. The best feature ever is you just type the repository and we just redirect you to the Google Cloud page for it. It's awesome. But it was not flexible enough. People wanted Maven, Dockerfile, and different semantics for different repositories. Maybe you want to do a Debian mirror, right? So now you can do all of them. An artifact repository is more scalable. It allows this multi-stuff. The only thing you need to do is you need to actually physically create it in advance, because hey, you want a Docker file, you say create artifact repository called Riccardo ROR blah blah blah. So it has one folder more, it's 4 words instead of 3, but God, it's so much more powerful. If I have time, I will show you later how to do it. Let's go back to us. So we are building. We have 2000 seconds, which is 206, 33 minutes, I think. So it's a lot. Yeah, so it's a lot. It's not needed. As I said, like 10, 15 minutes should be enough. And let's see, let me do an echo. Let me see if it has all the variable it needs. Watch. So instance name, it doesn't know what it is, but we have it here. So why doesn't it have it? So DRM allow. Oops, not the 6, the 7. Oops. 7, which should just be an echo. Okay, so the echo works. So that means that the echo, since the echo works, it means that all the variables are set correctly. So we should be able to run it whenever the artifact repository is done. Bingo, it's done. I will show you the output of it, but now we deploy. So let me see, artifact registry, what is GCR? Container registry. So container registry is the old way of doing stuff, which I encourage you not to use. I don't know what you think, Riccardo, but the demo has it. Yeah, sorry about that. We're going to fix that. So you see gcr.io, this is the legacy version, and this is a Docker container folder or registry, right? So it's called Google Container Registry or GCR. Now in artifact repository, you'd create a new repository. You say I want Docker, Maven, npm, Python, Yum, kubeflow pipelines, generic, and I would say, I don't know, Docker. I would say Rick, Docker, Rails, whatevs. Standard, regional, I will say Europe West 4. Netherlands, of course, I mean, who would think otherwise? Env prod, project my Rails cat project. So this is how you create one. And now you say, well, but Riccardo, you didn't teach me how to integrate it. You're right. But all you need is to change this project ID region instance. Oh no, this is Cloud SQL. The image repository here. Let me put it in env.rc. So here is the export obsolete GCR repo. So this is the old way to do it, and which is the one that will work today because this is how it's been implemented. And this is the new way to do it. You just cut and paste, you click here, you cut and paste this, You put it here. And now you put the $app name. This took me a while to understand, because if you put only this, it will fail, because you want the region, the project ID, the name of the repository, and inside it the image, because inside this you could have Docker 1, Docker 2, Docker 3. So here inside you could have different stuff. So if you just change this, it will work. And I could actually prove it to you later on if you want. It's really as simple as changing this to this. So this is the our repo done well. As it works now, as you should make it work. Make sense? So again, region dash docker package dev slash project ID slash what was it? Oh, this is the name of the repository, because again, as I told you, it has one level of indirection. It's like before you created a file foo, now you create a file within a folder bar. So it's bar slash foo. What before was foo now goes in the end. And in the middle, there is the bar, which is the name of this artifact repo name, which is, I gave it Docker to make you understand this is a Docker thingy. It's not a Maven thingy. Before, it would be whatever, it would be chaos. Now the semantic is added to the creation, which is probably optimized for whatever it is inside, right? So let's go back to us, because we want to finish. We have only 5 minutes. Oh my God, oh my God. So let's run it. Resources not probably, please specify the argument. Oh my goodness. Dash dash project, project ID. Try now. gcloud auth login. He's right. We are not authenticated here. This is the wrong place. We want to be authenticated in the other one. Where are you? Veloce, veloce, veloce. We need to finish it in 5 minutes. Oh, come on. Project ID unbound variable. Direm allow. Okay. My goodness, you're making it difficult for me. Okay. Now it's trying to deploy. Let's see on Cloud Run what happens. Cloud Run is the best place in the world. Apparently, it's the best across every cloud. Like no competition is as good as Google Cloud, from what I read from multi-cloud customers that I talk to. I mean, they be just being overly nice to me, but that's what I understand. It's a way where to just run a generic Docker container. You give it a YAML, it uses Knative specification. So this is something from the Apache Foundation. So this is something that Google doesn't own, right? It's something used by other people as well. And I know very little about this, but I can tell you Cloud Run is the Knative version within Google. Oh, failed. Please don't fail again. Please don't fail again. Here we can see the logs. We can see an array of revision. The first failed, and if we are lucky, the second will not fail. My Ruby app code lab doesn't exist, not found. Let me see. My Ruby app code lab. Let's see if the name is correct. It's My Ruby app, not My Ruby app code lab. Can you really tell me it was this underscore? G0, My Ruby app. It doesn't find My Ruby app code lab, but My Ruby app exists. So let me see if this works. We still have very little time to test it. 2 minutes. Let me check. Oh my God, this is really, really close. So if we're lucky, my Ruby app works. Oh my goodness. Please, please. Yay! I made it. I made it. Oh my goodness, last minute. Okay, now we need to do more stuff. But it looks like it looks like I finished the training. Again, I apologize, there have been a lot of bumps on the road, but we were able to actually run our cat album. Let me see if I can, okay. This is me, Riccardo, at Ruby Day Verona. It seems very pertaining. Unfortunately, it's not a cat. This is me drinking wine. Riccardo drinking wine. But it's not true. Just so you know, these bottles were already finished. And I think we are done. So now I click End Lab. And I will say, I will give it 4-star. Some bumpy parts, which I've captured in my friction log, hoping that somebody will read me. So let's see if somebody asks me for this friction log someday. And now the interesting part is that this should now destroy everything. So all the infrastructure that we have has been destroyed, which means that my project ID will not work. Let's see, gcloud, storage, gcloud storage buckets list. Let me do the 00 init. Which is my magical script which automatically sets everything. Probably I should add secret stuff to here. Now let me try again. Okay, it's still working, but expect in the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour for this to stop working. And that is like the bad news of running quick labs. And this is the reason why I like to have everything in here, because again, it's more bumpy if you do it here. As you can see, if you do things in the cloud, everything is just faster. It's been created by Googlers thinking that you will do it there. But what I don't like is that then you lose everything, and I love it. I love what I have. So now I have everything locally with all of my scripts of initialize, create the SQL instance, create the password, create the bucket, upload the secrets key, set the permissions, build the Ruby application, and deploy the raw application. So now I can say, okay, now I want to refactor one thing, or maybe now I want to apply everything but to my personal project. So I want to create this cat application there. So that's kind of like the overall idea. Well, this was everything. I think this, although there were many bumps in the road, I hope you appreciate it, because again, this is the beauty of facing a problem and solving it. And nothing. I will reload the site, and bingo, it kicked me all out. So that probably means, there you are, that probably now this will stop working. It doesn't. So maybe the identity has been disabled, but I still have access to the GCP version of it. That's super interesting. But again, if I do a Control-R watch, I wouldn't be surprised if this will stop working very, very soon. Anyway, thanks for listening. I will now stop the Camtasia recording, and hopefully I will publish it on YouTube and you tell me what you think about it. Okay? Bye bye. Where is the button? Stop. Stop recording.